he, when he was a younger guy, like 18, 19 years old, he traveled to the Middle East. And he lived in Israel for a very long time. And he worked on a kibbutz. And a kibbutz is like a collective farm, so to say. And it was in the 80s. And of course, in the 80s, you had the war in the north with the Golan, with Hezbollah. And So, and he saw these rockets coming in on their farm. And he says, well, the people over there told him, yeah, the Muslims are shooting at us, etc., etc. So there was his first experience there with Islam, so to say. Then he went to Syria and Jordan, and he stayed there for a time. He said, well, I've met a lot of nice people there, but when I look at the countries, they're all wrecked. They're all devastated in the way they treat their women, etc., etc. And it has to do with their religion. That's Islam. Islam preaches this way of life, and that's why they're so backwarded, etc., etc. So then he came back, and he was still in the Liberal Party of the Netherlands, and it's the same party of our current Prime Minister, Mara Brugge. And he left the party in 2004, I think, 2003, 2004, because of a discussion about Turkey, the country. And they promised in the European Union that Turkey could become a member state of the EU. And he said, well, that will never happen because it's an Islamic country and we are a Christian continent, so to say. So he said, well, I don't want to have talks no matter what. And they told him, well, we have to, etc. He said, well, if you don't explicitly say that Turkey will never be a member state as long as we are in government, then I'll leave the party. I said, well, we're not saying that. So he said, well, I'll leave the party. So he left the party because of his idea that Turkey could become a member state in the future. And he said, I don't want to have Turkey as a member state because it's an Islamic country.
It's a country, yeah.
Then he left, and that was the same year that a famous filmmaker, Theo van Gogh, he was murdered in the Netherlands. They shot him, and they tried to slit his throat, and they stuck a knife in his stomach with a letter on it. And on the letter was for Ayaan Hesha Ali. You know Ayaan Hesha Ali, perhaps? She's famous. She lives in Canada. She used to be a member of the Dutch parliament as well. And she was in the same party, and she was a friend of Geert Wilders. So she talked with Geert Wils a lot about Islam and her own experience in Somalia, etc., etc. Half of the things she said later on weren't true, but it's another story. But he was there